You probably think you know the truth about Iranian attacks on American forces, but what you're about to learn will make you question why we put up with so much un-American activities right here at home. Representative Ilhan Omar just made one of the most outrageous claims we've heard in recent political history, claiming that no one is attacking or has attacked Americans when it comes to Iran. What the Congresswoman from Minnesota is saying flies in the face of decades of documented evidence, hundreds of American deaths, and a mountain of intelligence reports that paint a very different picture. Now, as a sitting member of Congress, Ilhan Omar has access to intelligence and briefings that clearly contradict the claims that she made, yet she said it anyway. Deliberately spreading a false narrative like this raises serious questions about where her loyalties lie and whether they align with the interests of America and the Constitution she swore to uphold. Now, we're going to go over Iranian attacks on Americans so that you can decide if Omar is guilty of spreading false statements to help defend an enemy nation, or if she's just another ignorant squad member. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Look, if you like our videos and you haven't done so already, you should become a subscriber to the channel. Hit that notification bell and smack the like button because it helps us get our message out to more people. Also, tomorrow night is Friday night, and at 6 o'clock Eastern on Fridays, we always do a live stream. Everybody in the chat has a blast every single week as we read interesting news stories of the week. We tweak them with a bit of humor, a dash of sarcasm, and a whole lot of conservative common sense. Why don't you check it out? All right. Now, let's talk about something that's probably going to make your blood boil. While the Middle East heats up again, and everyone in Washington is dusting off their war drums, Ilhan Omar said one of the most stupid things I've heard in a very long time. According to Omar, no one is attacking or has attacked Americans. It's time to stop dragging Americans into war and letting Israel once again get America involved in their chosen war. Stand up for the Americans who believed you wanted peace and don't commit another generation of Americans into a costly war. Wow, she sounds like an America First person, right? Well, that's right. Apparently, we've all just imagined the decades of attacks, the body bags, and the terror plots. Nobody has attacked us at all. Some people did something, though. Right, Ilhan? All right, move along. Here's where things get really interesting. By interesting, I mean completely insane, except inconveniently for her narrative, literally everything we know contradicts what she said. Let's start with the guy she's criticizing. President Donald Trump. He didn't hold back, saying Iran must have unconditional surrender. He said it on Truth Social, and he warned, we're not hitting Ayatollah Khomeini, at least not for now, though America's patience is wearing thin. And according to Fox News Digital, which published a report right after Omar's comments, her claim is flat out false. The piece breaks down a mountain of examples, actual attacks, assassinations, and strikes by Iran and its proxies against U.S. citizens and forces. It's not opinions, guys. It's facts. So get a load of this. In November, the Department of Justice unveiled charges against an Iranian operative and 2 New Yorkers for orchestrating a murder-for-hire plot. The target list? It was multiple Americans, including Donald Trump. But sure, Omar, nobody's attacking Americans. And if you think this is just about threats, not action, let's revisit a bloody reality. From 2003 to 2011, Iran played a deadly role in Iraq, responsible for the deaths of 603 American service members. That's not speculation. It's confirmed by a 2019 Pentagon report cited in Military Times. So let that sink in for a second. Nearly 1 out of every 6 U.S. combat deaths in that war can be traced back to Tehran's actions. But apparently, in Omar's world, math is just optional. In 2022, families of fallen and wounded Americans sued Iran under the Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act, and they won. Why? Iran's fingerprints were all over the terror groups that killed or maimed 30 U.S. personnel in Afghanistan. Now, Bill Roggio, a senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies and editor of the Long War Journal, took the stand to back the victims, lending his expertise to expose Iran's deadly role. He told Fox News Digital that Iran's support for the Taliban and al-Qaeda and the impact it had on the deaths and injuries to American soldiers and civilians is incalculable. He went on saying Iran provided money, weapons, training, intelligence, and safe haven to Taliban subgroups across Afghanistan, including in the heart of the country in Kabul. He even went further, saying Iran's support for the Taliban was only rivaled by that of Pakistan, adding, I would argue that Iran's extensive support facilitated nearly every Taliban attack on U.S. personnel. But Omar wants you to believe that Americans were never attacked, like none of this ever happened. Like, what were we thinking? It's like she's living in an alternate universe where facts don't matter anymore. Let's jump to 2020. Remember General Qasem Soleimani? Well, after he was taken out, Iran responded by launching surface-to-surface missiles at 2 U.S. bases in Iraq. That wasn't a warning shot, guys. That was retaliation, direct, calculated, and deadly serious. No Iranians attacked the U.S. Then there's the 2022 court case, another ruling against Iran, this time over 40 American service members who were wounded or lost their lives in Iraq. Same pattern, Iranian cash and weapons funding the terror. And it gets worse. In 2023, in an interview with Iran's state-controlled media, because, yes, they still do that, Saeed Issa Tabatabai, Khomeini's man in Lebanon, openly admitted Iran was behind the 1983 bombings in Lebanon. The result? 63 dead at the U.S. Embassy, including 17 Americans. Later, 2 suicide truck bombs blew up Marine barracks. One of those Marines was a guy I graduated high school with. We lost 220 Marines, 18 sailors, 3 soldiers, and 58 French troops. But Omar wants you to believe no one attacked Americans. From October 2023 to August 2024, Iranian-backed militias carried out 180 attacks on U.S. forces stationed in Syria, Iraq, and Jordan. According to Rogio, these militant groups, quote, are estimated to have killed more than 600 U.S. service personnel. In January 2024, a lethal drone strike slammed into a U.S. outpost in Jordan, taking the lives of 3 American troops and wounding 25 others. 2 Iranians, one of them a dual U.S. citizen, were later charged in connection with the attack. Now, at the time, House Foreign Affairs Committee Chair Michael McCaul nailed it, saying Iranian proxies had launched over 150 attacks on U.S. troops since Hamas's October 7 assault on Israel. But Ilmar says it never happened. On June 14, Rogio reported that Iranian-backed militias launched a drone attack aimed at Ain al-Assad, a U.S. military base in Iraq. Thankfully, they were shot down. Also, according to Rogio, this attack looked like an unsanctioned strike by an unnamed Iranian militia. Unlike past attacks, no group has claimed credit, and there have been no follow-on strikes. His takeaway, Iran wants to keep the U.S. out of the fight as the U.S. military has the capability to hit the underground nuclear facility in Fordow. But sure, let's pretend that none of this happened. Let's pretend Iran isn't attacking Americans at all. Let's pretend every one of those names on every one of those headstones was just a coinky-dink, right? Because apparently in the fantasy world of Representative Ilhan Omar, reality is optional. Facts are just mere suggestions, and the blood of American service members don't count if it doesn't fit your political narrative. Here's what really gets me. This isn't just ignorance, guys. This is willful blindness. This is choosing ideology over truth, politics over the lives of Americans who died defending this country. When you have access to the same intelligence briefings, the same reports, the same documented evidence that the rest of Congress sees, and you still make a statement like this, you're not just wrong, you're dangerously wrong. The families of those 603 service members killed by Iranian weapons in Iraq deserve better. The victims of the 1983 Beirut bombings deserve better. The 3 soldiers killed in Jordan this year deserve better. They deserve representatives who acknowledge their sacrifice, not politicians who pretend that it never happened. But here's the silver lining in all this madness. The truth has a way of surfacing. Despite Omar's attempt to rewrite history, the facts are crystal clear. Iran has been waging a proxy war against America for decades, and we have the receipts. The American people see through this kind of historical revisionism. They're not buying what she's selling. All right, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.